Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, at some point you really need to experience a Kershaw Speed Safe knife. Welcome to Blade Banter channel. We're going to talk about specs, opinions, and discussions. This one is a legend as far as knives go. This is the Kershaw Leek. So multitude of different designs, different blade steels, different handle scales, really everything that you want to do to a knife, different pocket clips, of course, because this is something of contention with any of the people that talk about the Kershaw Leek, is how much this knife actually sticks out of your pocket. So that's one thing that is actually an issue for many people, as far as how much that sticks out, especially in the tip up position. Tip down, you're going to have quite a bit less. So if you carry it in that fashion, you won't really have much of an issue on it. But it is right hand carry only, so tip up or tip down for this knife. And then it does have this little safety on this side too. So I found in my pocket, in the tip up position is how I carry it. Before I even take it out of my pocket, I'd actually disengage the safety and then pull it out of my pocket, so I wouldn't have a different step to fumble around with it once it's out of my pocket. So even with the Speed Safe itself, it's actually quite enjoyable as far as being able to close it. So not a lot of pressure on it. So that's actually one of the issues I have with another knife that will be coming up in a moment, which is the Kershaw Dividend. So I did pick this blade up fairly inexpensive. I think I got it for $20 from somebody off of Craigslist. I did have a chip in the blade, so I did have to take that out before it was really usable. It wasn't too bad of a chip. So looking at some of the specs on this one, so we'll go for the weight first off. So it should be a pretty light knife overall. So 2.1, so very light for that one. So another popular Speed Safe, so the Dividend. Let's check that out. 2.4, oh, 2.5, compared to 2.5, 2.2, so really fairly close for that. So as far as the blade itself, a little bit shorter, so it depends on what type of blade style you want to carry. The Leek is a little bit shorter than the Dividend, and then also the Dividend you can get in the M390 for not a whole lot more. I think it's about $20 or $30 more than the base model. And then you can actually switch out the blade if you really want to. So the Blade Banter channel actually did that as far as switching out the blade. Went with a standard handle and then M390 blade in the standard handle. So that's something that's available. I did get a deep carry pocket clip for this knife as well. But going back to what it was about, so the Leek is something that I do carry around every now and then. I do find that the pocket clip is a little bit too shallow, so especially with that locking device. So I would like it to be quite a bit deeper in pocket. So I have some other ones that stick out the same way. So even for something like the Delica, this one sticks out of the pocket pretty much the same way as far as the depth. But this one feels a lot more sturdy in pocket, and this one feels a little kind of top heavy as far as when I'm carrying it. So it's kind of an odd experience for that. But in looking at size comparison on these between that knife, and I can't flick that out. There you go. Delica. Let's get that in focus too. Those two knives. The Kershaw, and then a small Kershaw, which is the Friction. So there's all those sizes, for the knives. So in your hand, it's going to be a little bit different. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of had that sizing chart available, so you can see for yourself as far as what it's going to look like within your hand, so you can kind of have some type of guide. Again, you can download it offline, use some other sizing charts if you know what size glove you would normally wear anyway. That's going to be something that you can utilize. So adult male hand, other side adult female. So overall, it fits fairly well in hand. Nothing that really bites you. No real big hot spots or anything like that. Jimping's there, but really for me, I don't do a lot of heavy work with any of my knives. So if you're going to do that, you might need something a little bit more aggressive on that side. But for me, it's not really necessary. Very fine tip, kind of almost like a Warncliffe tip or blade itself as far as the profile. But for the actual pull on this, it also is fairly light because this is a speed safe knife. .2. And then one other thing that I like about the speed safe, or at least to measure this, this is kind of what I was talking about as far as kind of the fidgetability of the knife, is how much pressure it actually takes to close the blade, which is about 1.1. And then so going off on that one, as far as the dividend, which is kind of that comparison to it, another really popular speed safe. So zero that out. About normally where you would put your finger to close this blade. So 1 pound, 11.3 ounces. So quite a bit more pressure to close the blade in comparison. So that's why for me, this is a lot more enjoyable. The main thing that takes away from using this knife more often really is that pocket clip, as far as how it stands in pocket. So I might actually just switch around, carry it around in tip down formation to see how that goes. But that is that knife. As far as a buy, borrow, or avoid, I would probably say, now for this one, it is definitely a borrow. And then if you do not have a speed safe, I would actually recommend this over the dividend, which is going to cause some issues. But that is now what I feel on that. I haven't really been too impressed with dividend. It's all right, but it's not really what I like as far as what I use a knife for. So this is a lot more enjoyable as far as being able to flick it open and that closure. But let me know what you think on it. Let me know as far as your opinions between these two knives in the comments below. And thank you for your time.